Hey everyone, and welcome back to Big Dipper. So this is part 2, and today is New Year's Eve. So I don't really tend to celebrate New Year's Eve, but I know some people do. So I hope you're going to have a really nice New Year's Eve party tonight, but before that we're going to catch up with this. There was much less garbage on the second floor, probably because I rarely visited it. So all I really needed to do was getting rid of the dust and whipping up the pillows. I got to work after some time. I heard the shower door creak a little. Welcome back. Thanks, you've done a good job. When I lived here back in the day, we used to boil water specifically to shower. Whoa. Oh yeah, the good old days. Every modern household here has their own personal boiler. Every house does nowadays, don't they? The problem is that it's not that they don't have a boiler, it's just they don't have the money to use the poor thing. I see. Did you find everything? Yeah, I knew our washing machine could dry, but never tried it myself. I had to dig the manual for some information. This was bad. She did open the bottom drawer after all. She found my dildos. Now that was awkward. Julia was blushing again, and I wanted to throw myself out the window. We stood still and studied the floor for what felt like an eternity. Then she finally spoke up. You've been cleaning. A good idea. Can I help you somehow? There's really no need to. Please, I'll have nothing to do until Grandpa comes anyway. At least that way I'll do something useful. I was grateful for her attempt to dispel the awkward atmosphere, so I decided not to protest. Are we ever going to find out what's in his drawer? I want to find out what's in his drawers now. Well, it would be great if you could dust the pillows lying in the corner behind the curtains. Dust the pillows? Julia lifted the curtains. That's my nest! Your nest? I used to drag everything I deemed interesting in here, so my grandma called me a magpie. I'm a magpie! And this place she called my nest. This was my bedroom. Isn't it a bit cramped for a bedroom? As if you'd understand. This was a royal chamber for a little girl, so let's get to it. Do you think it's a good idea to go outside just after the shower? Well, it's just for a bit. The clothes dry much faster when you wear them. Pops will blame me if you catch cold. You act like an old man. What are you, 80? And you look like you're in your early 20s. Don't tell me you had never jumped into snow after the banya. What's a banya? I never had, as a matter of fact. I gave up. Julia scooped up the pillows and ran downstairs. I was rummaging through the closet when I heard strange sounds coming from outside. Julia threw pillows around, beating them against each other, covered them in snow, and kept on sneezing. You could hardly call it dusting, but I couldn't help but smile since she was so enthusiastic about it. I wouldn't like to sleep on those pillows. I mean, you can get the dust off, but they'll still have that weird smell. You know when you go to a hotel or something and you have a pillow that has a weird... yeah. And then my phone rang. Oh, hello. Sound effects. It was my mom. Bitch. Me teeth clenched involuntarily as hard as a bear trap. Speak Geordie. I didn't pick up, but not because I didn't want to talk. Quite the contrary. I wanted to vent everything I was holding for 8 years. I wanted to shower her with all of my anger and spite. I was sure I'd feel better, but I chickened out. It's a lovely way to spend New Year's Eve, isn't it? I was afraid that I would regret it. Why are you so gloomy? Who called? I didn't notice her come back. Good thing I didn't pick up and she didn't hear what was on my mind. Julia was strangely worried about my problems. Wrong number. You done? Sir, yes sir. Actually, no. Snowflakes sparkled in her hair. I'll clean up the nest. Promise me you won't go in until after I've finished, okay? Sure thing. It's just my house. It's fine. She disappeared behind the curtain, humming some unfamiliar tune. I got back to my own duties, and then I'd heard something crack. What are you doing there? Peeling off wallpaper? Mind your own business. I mean, again, this is my house. So I shouldn't worry? No reaction. I was going over the shelves when she had finally stopped struggling. Can I go in now? No, not yet. But you seem to be finished. I'm most certainly not. Wait a bit longer. Scrub the floor for now. I stepped on something here. Bear shit. What arrogance. Yet the floor was definitely in need of some scrubbing. That's all. Go in. I looked behind the curtain. Julia was lying on her back straight. The light from an old lamp was trembling slightly, as if it would die out at any moment. Wow, you aligned the pillows. Good job, good job. Ha ha! Come here. She patted the pillow beside her. I shot her a quizzical look. I'm not suggesting anything strange. Come on, lie down. Don't be afraid. I'm not the one who should be afraid. I crawled towards Julia without arguing. Hey, be careful with my hair. Sorry. Are you ready? I shrugged, not exactly sure what to expect. She flicked a switch. Aww. Wow. The lights went out, and in a second, the oblique ceiling was lit up with a bunch of bright colours. I gasped in surprise. I did peel off the wallpaper. Yeah, not gonna lie, it just trashed your house. What's this? How? Fluorescent paint. When I was little, Grandma used to draw with me a lot. This wall, or rather ceiling, became more canvas. Did you know she was an artist? No, Pops always closes off whenever he remembers her. Do all men find it so hard to open up? Look, there's a squirrel in the corner. We met it in the forest and I drew it this on the same day. Looks like a rat. Shit, it is a rat! Kill it! Well, all rodents look alike. What's up with its tail? Stop it! I was really bad at drawing back there, and I still am, to be honest. Julia's drawings were easy to spot, uneven, scrawny, with a lot of unwanted details, and her grandmother's were the exact opposite, simple but artsy. And who's this girl riding a bear? You? Julia mumbled something to herself. I don't remember. Maybe Grandma drew it? Why did he cover them up? Julia sighed. When she died, I couldn't sleep here, so I always went downstairs, to Grandpa, who was working through the night to get his mind off things. He put wallpaper over the paintings to ease my pain as well, but I just couldn't force myself to come back. Bloody hell, that's a bit dark. I mean, I don't think I would like that. I think that would break my heart if I covered something like that up. Do you miss her? I see her in my dreams fairly often, even talk to her. Sometimes it's very hard to wake up. Julia sniffled. She did it as quietly as possible, but I was too close to miss it. I could feel the smell wafting from her hair. Warm and fuzzy, an aroma unlike any shampoo. Almost bear-like. I'm sure she's a bear. Now it's your turn to tell a story. She was trying to be upbeat and cheerful, but her trembling voice gave her away. My turn, huh? What story can I tell? What's up with your mom? Look, it's a very long story. His eyes have closed. Hey, my 2 stories were fairly long as well. Can you give me that one in return? 2? When was that? My grandma and my sleepwalking. She was right. I'd heard a lot about Julia even before we met, and now I knew even more, but I was still a complete mystery to her. I liked listening to her speak, and it was only fair to return the favour, and sharing my honest thoughts wasn't such a bad idea, was it? Probably. Where do I start? Start from the beginning. How did you 2 meet? Oh, it was on a sunny summer day. Julia burst into laughter. The tension hanging in the air was gone in a flash. I had a wonderful family, to be frank. I was sure of it. Such a warm and loving family was very rare among my peers at the time. Dad tried to spend most of his free time with me, and Mum always supported him. I was the happiest boy on the planet. Every day was fantastic, and I couldn't imagine it being any other way. Julia held her breath, listening closely. And then Dad was gone, and the magic atmosphere went away with him. I was 14 at the time. Ah, the difficult age. Turned out the boys who weren't as pampered as me matured a lot faster. I was an outcast, too soft and naive. Dad's death became a catalyst for their bullying. Children tend to be cruel, you know. Oh, children can be evil. I mean, I get some bullying, like, you know, like it's some from your friends. It's like a jibe, and you know it's from your friends. You know they don't mean it, but there's some people who are just evil, horrible little shits. I later understood that they were jealous. They thought I was feeling superior and didn't want to hang out with them since I had my ideal family. And when it became not so ideal, they gloated over it. Did you really feel superior? Maybe. I was extremely proud of my dad. He was an air pilot. Sometimes he picked me up from school right after the landing. He wore his awesome uniform, a coat with 4 golden stripes on its sleeves and a pilot cap. I couldn't be happier at the time. And that may have been the problem. You shouldn't show off your happiness to someone who's less fortunate. And your mom? My mum had basically disappeared. She started working after Dad had passed away, and we wouldn't see each other for weeks sometimes. She came home when I was already in bed, and she went to work when I was still asleep. Because she's a single parent, she's got to earn the money. I was only reminded of her presence by the fact that she constantly left some food on the table. I thought that a common grievance would unite us, but it put us further and further apart after each passing day. Again, she's working hard to feed you, to put that food on said table. Our relationship was reduced to occasional phone calls and silent weekend breakfasts. I started skipping school because of the bullying. My grades dropped. She was informed of that, but hadn't said a single word to me. Okay, that's bad. And I would have been happy if she had shouted at me or had shown concern in any other way. I stopped, trying to get rid of that icky, unpleasant feeling from my memories of the days that grew increasingly sad and lonely. Julia didn't rush me. And then I ran away from home. I didn't plan to, just turned out that way. One day I came home from school after a good thrashing and called her. Thrashing, he got beat up. I wanted to spill everything to her. I wanted to tell on the bullies. I didn't care if the whole school thought I was hiding behind my mom. I wanted her to help much more than to stop... Hang on. I wanted her to help much more than to stop the bullying itself. She could have at least said something to encourage me. But she just dropped the call. She was probably busy. But I felt so betrayed, knowing that your most precious person didn't have time for you. I left my phone, gathered my things, and took off. Oh, that's so sad! How old were you at the time? 16. What happened next? I'd spent a couple of nights at the train station, then signed up for a heaving job. I was lucky to find a company that helped me rent an apartment. After 2 weeks, my boss told me there was a search going on for me. I met with Mom. She asked if everything was alright. She didn't even flinch. And I told her how I felt, that I was much better than before. She gave me my phone, a bit of cash, and left for good. End of story. Bloody hell! Well, it's certainly not the end, considering you're waiting for a visit. I don't expect much. Does that have anything to do with your trembling hands? Oh, so you've noticed. I'm an alcoholic. That wasn't intentional. Well, it may have played a part. Julia was deep in thought, and I was finally able to sigh in relief. It was hard to share personal stuff like this, but it was even harder to keep it pent up inside. I never told Pops the whole story. Because that would look unmanly. It would look childish. Nonsense, there's nothing childish about sharing your problems with other people. In fact, being childish is not an offence either. Being an adult is far worse. Could not agree more. Could not agree more. Kids just see things in a much better, brighter, happier outlook, and adults are just, no. Oh, so that's why Pops is like that. Like what? Very infantile. I'm glad to hear it. If you're not hinting at Alzheimer's, of course. Okay. We both laughed at the same time. Haha, he's got dementia. You know, sometimes I find it very hard to understand my parents, especially Dad. He never once visited Grandma since the time he left. Even when she got sick, he didn't go to the hospital or to a funeral. I thought I would never forgive him for this, but I did eventually, and still I couldn't quite understand him. Grandpa didn't say a thing. I'd be furious if I was him, but he was so calm and collected, as if it was the way things were supposed to be. I always thought that there's something adults know that we don't, and as soon as we get that knowledge, we become adults ourselves. Yep. A woman child, 23 years of age. Hey, it's rude to remind a lady of her age. You're young and pretty. Isn't it the best time for that? Hello, he said the P word. She swallowed her words. Was she embarrassed? I wanted to turn my gaze towards her, but my vision was limited by how dim the light was. Anyways, it's not that simple. Julia continued the conversation. When I graduated school, we had a huge fight with Dad. I miss Grandpa and wanted to come here, and he insisted I enter university. I cried a lot and said some really stupid things, but he still heard me out, and when I calmed down, he hugged me real tight and said that I was just like my grandma. This was the only time he ever did something like that. He and Mom, they always thought strong emotions to be something unnecessary. I think being like them means being an adult. But at that moment, I understood just how deeply he loved her and how hard it was on him. I mean, everyone has their own way of dealing with grief and showing support. Your mom certainly did care about you, since she was always cooking your breakfasts. And there it is. Either that or she wanted to keep child services away. And how should she have known you needed her when you didn't even tell her about it once? It's cool when someone can understand you without words, but try to get into her shoes. She was supporting your family by herself after she'd lost your dad. Exactly. I've been there. I'm a child of a one-parent family, and it's not easy. You expected support from her, but you didn't consider she also needed it. Well, she never said anything. Neither did you. And so did you. She organised a search for you. She was worried that something might have happened to you, and you told her you were better off without her. What was she supposed to feel? Her husband passed away, and her only son turned his back on her. It's a miracle that she was tough enough to carry that cross. Julia's voice trembled a little. My eyes stung a bit. And you should know what it's like to lose someone precious. Then why would you force other people to live through it, not to mention your own mom? I've never looked at it that way. Try not to say anything you will regret from now on, okay? Yeah. It's a promise then? It's a promise. Pinky promise. She sniffled loudly. Good to hear. Julie was about to get up, but I gently touched her shoulder. Let's stay here for a little while. I didn't want her to see my face right now. Julia returned to her spot without arguing. There's also nothing internally wrong with crying, you know. Yeah, I get it. I'm a man, I don't cry. I looked up the many drawings and one in particular caught my eye. Shades of violet and pink, a giant bear, reaching up to the sky, and the forest that was hardly reaching the bear's belly. I felt like it was staring right at me. The silence was broken by sounds coming from Julia's stomach. Oops. It's time to go downstairs. You think so? I'd love to chill here some more, but if I don't cook something for you right now, I'll be consumed by guilt. Or you. I love this story. I crawled my way outside. Julia followed suit. The sun had almost hidden behind the treetops. It's getting dark. Pop should hurry. Your mom as well, if there's going to really be a blizzard tonight. To be perfectly honest, there's nothing about that in the forecast. I don't know why Pop's decided it's going to happen. I mean, it's a bit windy, but nothing to constitute a blizzard. If Grandpa said it's going to happen, it's going to happen. He's Santa Claus. Why are you so sure? He has a gift. He has many gifts. For all the naughty... Sorry, no, for all the good girls and boys, not the naughty girls and boys. They don't get presents. To forecast weather? To see the future. He would beckon me to look out the window sometimes, and did that just to see the Aurora Borealis appear right before my eyes. I don't know how he did that to this day, but I don't doubt his words. I smirked. Being so naive at her age was rather cute. Pops probably could tell by his bones aching. Aurora Borealis is something I've always wanted to go and see. But if it makes my skeleton hurt, I might have to make sure I take some painkillers. Did you know that the Aurora Borealis is just solar dust grinding away at our atmosphere? A mighty malicious thing. And did you know you're a complete bore? Insult me some more and you'll be left starving. I'll eat some snow. Yellow snow. Lovely taste. We kept on arguing until we reached the kitchen. I only had a couple of slices of pizza and some pasta with sausages in terms of ready food lying around in the fridge. Other than that, it was stuffed with canned foods, vegetables and raw meat. Pizza or pasta? Oh, that's a question I always want to get asked. Well, let's start with pasta. Start? Come on, I'm practically starving here. Come to think about it, you were wandering about for a month without any food. It's a mystery how you managed to survive. It's my normal diet. I have an idea how she might survive. Just putting that out there. A very bold statement. Now that explains everything. What do you mean? The fact that you eat so much, you accumulate nutrition and then use it sparingly. Like a bear? Yeah, don't be shy. Eat up. Julia started consuming food with enthusiasm, but her face contorted right away. And what master chef, may I ask, cooked this? It was me. What about it? How in the world did he manage to ruin something as simple as pasta? I scooped some pasta with a fork. It smelled and tasted ordinary. Seems fine to me. I ate it with no problem at all. Poor, poor creature. Must be tough living your life with no idea how real food tastes. Oh, don't blow it out of proportion. Don't blow it out your arse. Are you going to cook for your mom as well? Of course. Stop making that face. It's not that bad. Besides, it's not like I'm forcing you to eat it. I'm okay, thank you. I'll eat at the very least, save someone else from the suffering. How nice of you. Just keep in mind, if I get sick, you'll be the one to blame. Or your gluttony. Shut up. Stop speaking with your mouth full. Also, did you know that your metabolism slows down as you age? With eating habits like that, you'll be fat, ugly, and incredibly sick when you get old. How does eating too much make you ugly? Andrew? Come on. It's shit. Also, the metabolism thing, totally true. I used to be able to eat everything in sight. And then mid-20s just went in the other direction. I've got to practically starve myself now. Bowing. I rummaged in my pocket and pulled out a key. Right, I almost forgot. Waffif. Speaking after you chew. Julia grumbled in protest. It's a cellar key. Pops gave it to me a while back. I never knew that cellar even existed. I've never moved any of the furniture here after all. Julia had finally finished the sausage. Grandma used to store sacks of grains and potatoes in there, and pickled vegetables. Ugh. I hope there's nothing there that was once edible. As far as I know, Pops keeps all sorts of garbage there, New Year tree ornaments included. Julia's eyes turned as big as plates. Now what? Can I help you decorate the house? Please, 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 pretty please. Oh, right, you're a holidays for children enthusiast. I haven't decorated a New Year tree in ages, and I've almost forgotten its smell. Is there a New Year tree? I just tend to keep the Christmas tree up until after New Year's. I've never heard of a New Year tree. There's plenty of them outside. Go have a sniff. Meanie. I thought Pops would pick you up by now, to be honest. I gotta call him. Andrew, my boy, what's up? What's up? You coming soon? Did you forget I've got plans for tonight? What are you even doing? Ah, well, was tinkering with the engine a bit. I'm done now. Almost ready to go. You're a car mechanic now? Hope you didn't break anything else. If you don't come, your granddaughter here will have to spend the night in the forest. Julia stared at me in utter shock. Yeah, gotcha. And he hung up. Don't look at me like that. It was just a joke. He'll be there in a couple of hours. Strange. I thought he'd be rushing here after hearing about you, but he's not in any sort of hurry. He doesn't give a shit about seeing you. Who knows what business he has? Oh, I know all about his business. He's either sawing trees or smoking in his workshop. That's all the business he can have. Will you ever stop grumbling? It's not even clear when your mom will come. Didn't you want to call her, by the way? I sighed. After my conversation with Julia, I didn't know how to approach my mom and what to say to her. I'll call her in a bit. Probably. No, you have to call her right now. And why's that? You can't run away from her forever. You hung up on her before, right? It's simple courtesy to call back. All right, spare me your preaching. Hello? I dialed Mom's I got away from the miss. Whoa! I dialed Mom's number, trying to control my trembling fingers. Oh my God, speak! I dialed Mom's number, trying to control my trembling fingers. Hey, you come in? There's something wrong with the car. We need to change some parts for spares, or so they told me. Should I pick you up? No, I've already found a driver. He's going your way. Nicholas! Huh? Who's the driver? Now, don't get in the car with a complete stranger. He looks like a good fellow. He kind of looks like Santa Claus. Do you think all predators have their intent written all over their face? Send me his plate number, for safe measure. Sure, Andrew? What? No, nothing. See you. Bye. So brutal. I ended the call. That was close. Julia peered into my eyes triumphantly. Wow, you can be like that too? Bearable? Karen, that was cute. Stop imagining things. It's just ordinary safety concerns. If I'd sent you to Pops on a taxi, I would have remembered its like plate number as well. I don't do that. And that's actually a really good idea. But things with like Uber and a lot of taxis that you book by the app, they have all the details on the phone anyway, so you can't really call an Uber, I suppose, in Santa Land, can you? So could you do that from the very start? No, I was speaking hypothetically. Taxis don't come here. Enthusiasm did not waver. Well, since Grandpa and your mom won't be here for a while, I can help you decorate the tray and even cook you something for dinner. If you are a good boy, you might even get a biscuit. Pops wanted me to decorate the tray with Mom. To be precise, he wanted me to make my guest happy. He meant my mom, right? It's not like he could have predicted Julia coming here. ... Well, if she arrives too late, we may not have enough time to do it. Alright, we'll do it, but let's start with the outside of the house. Why outside first? Well, if we were to believe Pops' forecast, we should hurry up before the blizzard comes. We moved the couch. There indeed was a hatch underneath it. Cold emanated from below. The air felt humid and dusty. The cellar was filled with unfunctioning electronics, furniture and old boxes. Julia swiftly located the ones we needed and returned the furniture to its rightful place. She opened up one of the boxes in the blink of an eye. There they are! Grandpa used to hang these lights on the roof. It always looks stunning. Do you think I'm not up to the task? Sir, no, sir! It was already pitch dark outside. I hoped that Julia would help me hang the lights, but probably thought that making a snowman was a much better idea. I brought out a ladder and climbed up to the roof. The lights themselves were easy to install, so things moved quickly. I was on the other side of the roof in no time. Julia, on the other hand, was so engrossed in playing with snow that she was practically unaware of her surroundings and didn't look my way even once. She was seemingly used to being left by herself, She was seemingly used to be left to her own devices, judging by how good she was at rolling those giant snowballs all by herself. I wonder how well did she connect with her peers? Did she have a boyfriend? You've only known her for 2 hours and you're already thinking about making a move on her. I, for example, was a complete rookie in relationships. Never even had a chance. The girls at school avoided me for apparent reasons. The only female that showed me any attention was a lunch lady from a nearby factory, Larissa, who flirted with pretty much anybody. All in all, I was a total virgin. What? turn into a sexy romancy thing. We're going to do the do on New Year's Eve. All in all, I was a total virgin. I felt warmth coming from Julia, though, and it didn't look like simple courtesy. I couldn't have even believed she was into me. Well, if she would look at me even once, but not today, I guess. I'm done here. Look at a frozen place. While I was deep in thought, a bear had emerged from the forest. Julia didn't even notice it, but it did notice her. Oh, looks beautiful. Your mom will surely appreciate the effort. Julia, look behind you. Look behind you. The beast stood up on 2 legs. A sated bear will do that to show off and warn others to not move closer. You wouldn't find a sated bear wandering the forest in winter, though. I took a deep breath and shouted at the top of my lungs. Julia, run! Oh, is this an action sequence? Is that why they're showing the picture? She sprung to action and got up the ladder in a blink, and the bear just stood there, unmoving. I threw off the ladder so it couldn't climb up. What's there? Julia shot the bear a quizzical look. It stared at us for a couple of minutes, tilting its head to different angles, and then just turned its back on us and strolled into the forest, almost as if we were unworthy of its attention. Phew, that was a close call. You scared me to death. You should have just told me it was a bear. Just a bear. Are you out of your mind? He would have swallowed you whole. Nonsense. Well, tell me then, what were you so afraid of? I thought it was the forest witch. Huh? The forest witch. When I was little, Grandma told me that there was a witch in the forest, a witch that killed birds and beasts and drank their blood to prolong her own life. Are you dumb? How can you believe in such fairy tales at your age? But it's true, I even saw her once. How old were you? 5? Little kids' imagination can take a rotten tree for an old person. She wasn't old at all. Julia's stomach reminded me of itself in just the right moment. Hungry again? No, it's your pasta talking. I need to go to the toilet. I've got the diarrheas. And what's up with that snowman's attire? Where did you get that? I found it lying around. Now, tell me, where's the ladder? What a moron. She definitely did not like me now. I don't want to hear that from someone who believes in forest witches. And you're a genius who decided to get rid of all means to get down. What do we do now? The window's locked from the other side. Well, we can always jump. But it's so high, I'm scared. I just can't understand you. I tried, I really did. How can you be scared of forest witches in such small heights, but not bears? And how weren't you scared of going into the forest at minus 30 degrees Celsius? And why did you even climb here when you could have just ran into the house? See, I feel a lot safer around you. My heart skipped a beat. Stop it. Stop what? Stop being so cute, please. You think I'm cute? You're as cute as you're weird. You say that like I'm the biggest weirdo on the planet. I didn't say that. Let's see. I'll jump down and bring back the ladder, okay? I landed in the snow without incident and got the ladder back up. Julia sheepishly placed her foot on one of the ladder planks again and again. On the 4th plank, her foot slipped. Of course, they're going to land on top of each other. Watch out! I stretched out my hands reflexively and Julia landed right into my grasp. It's all right, you're in safe hands. Thank you. She blushed, but didn't avert her gaze. I couldn't believe how light she was. I have a question. I just need to ask. Sure. Can you promise to answer honestly? She nodded and held her breath. Where did all the weight you had been accumulating for years go? Congratulations, you won a medal. She jumped off to the ground. What kind? For ruining a perfect moment. What do you... I was interrupted by a noise coming from the road. Someone's car. I doubted it was Pops or my mom. They couldn't have been here this fast. Julia seemed to think the same. So soon? She almost sounded sad. The noise was becoming louder. Windows in my house started shuddering. This was too loud. It wasn't a normal car. There seemed to be a lot of them. No one had turned our way, though. I wonder how much they were paid to work on New Year's Eve. What was that? This forecast is due to be cut down. This forest, is due to be cut down. They finally got to work, it seems. Impossible. This forest shouldn't be disturbed. Just this forest? I mean, I don't like that idea, but why this particular forest? You'd laugh at me again if I told you. I only tend to laugh at extremely childish beliefs. I see. It's because Bear Spirit lives here, right? You know about it? This girl is just... The whole town knows. I bet you don't believe in it, but that's okay. Did you say it as well? I didn't, but it definitely exists. This means there's a higher chance to meet a forest witch than a bear spirit around these parts. Julia shot me a mysterious smile. It's so cute, I won't even try to change your mind. And if that'll calm me down, Pops is sure nothing's going to happen to the forest. The bear spirit will come and save the day, like it always does. If Grandpa said so, it's gonna happen. Let me guess, because he can see the future? It's one of the reasons. Test my faith all you won't, you mean-spirited skeptic. I won't budge. Wasn't my intention at all. By the way, what about the tree? I found a really good one at the backyard. Come on in, I'll join you soon. Apart from all the racket from logging trucks, it was incredibly quiet outside. Even the air felt softer. It was either the calm before the storm, or Pops was wrong with his prediction. I think it's going to be the calm before the storm. Anyway, I am going to leave this here. Thank you very much for joining me on part 2 of the Big Dipper. I hope everyone has a lovely New Year's Eve. I hope you get drunk. I hope you have a big, massive party. House parties are the best. You cannot beat a house party on New Year's Eve. Get drunk, have lots of fun, wake up with a hangover tomorrow, and I will see you in the new year. Take care, guys. Bye.